Hi, I'm Asher, and welcome to Edible Education with Ocean View School District. Today, we're with Evan Graham Arango at Ojai Roots. Ocean View School District serves these fresh, locally sourced foods to students every Wednesday. Be sure to check it out in your school's cafeteria to get a taste. Why'd you decide to become a farmer?
You know, I didn't really decide to become a farmer. I just kind of realized one day that I was a farmer. So we're walking through what used to be my garden and what is now my farm. And I just love growing plants and growing food, and that was my passion as a gardener, and feeding my family and feeding friends. And eventually my garden got so big that I realized we couldn't eat the food ourselves, and I couldn't even give it to friends and neighbors. So if I wanted to grow more plants, I had no choice but to figure out how to start selling them. There are many different practices that we implement in order to heal our soil and make it better, and really make sure that as we farm the ground, it gets better and healthier, and more worms and more compost and more of all the good stuff. And so to me, regenerative farming is really about making sure that your farming process is adding goodness, it's adding health to your land rather than extracting it. We use a lot of mulch, so if you look around the garden, you'll see wood chips in different places, and all that compost and the wood chips and the straw, it all decomposes in kind of nature's cycle. It gets eaten by worms, different types of mushrooms, and different types of bacteria, and as that organic material, it's basically all organic material, the wood, the compost, the straw, as it decomposes, the nutrients inside it become available to the plants, and then the plants take that up through their roots and they grow. We grow all types of vegetables. Mostly we have several fruit trees and citrus trees and avocado trees on the property, but primarily here we grow mixed vegetables. So kind of all the vegetables that you'd find at a farmer's market stand. And of course it changes throughout the season. And then even some vegetables that you don't think of as greens actually have greens on them that you can eat. Like beets, for example, have green tops that are totally edible, and radishes have the same. Turnips have nice green tops that you can eat. And so we focus on having really healthy soil so that our plants are happy and they do well. But also, when it gets really hot, we can pull out some shade cloth. And of course, we use lots of water.
Do you have like a drip irrigation system here?
Yeah, we try to use as little water as possible, and we're really efficient with our water. So this is our drip irrigation system that we have here. And we have water coming up through our pipe, and then it leads into a timer. And then that timer leads to our main hose right here, which runs all the way down along the edge of all of our different beds where we plant our plants. And it's a very efficient use of water because no water is evaporating up into the sky like when you use a hose or a sprayer. Farming requires water, that's just the reality of it. And to keep the plants cool, sometimes they need a little bit of extra water. Healthy soil will hold on to water really well, kind of like a sponge. And all the growing practices that we do are really centered around building up our soil and making sure that the land is left in a better place than when I came. So we don't really till the ground. I don't have a tractor. We do almost all of our work by hand or with very simple metal tools. I don't do a lot of digging in the soil because tilling soil and digging into it is not very good for the worms and for all the life in the soil. So we try to be very, very gentle on our soil. But the farm is very, very small. If you look at the actual areas where I plant in total, it's under a quarter acre or right around a quarter acre. And yet we produce tons and tons of vegetables.
So what is this?
So this here is gem lettuce, and it's very recently transplanted. So we raise them as little baby seedlings in these little seedling trays, which I'll pick up here. And then we pop them out of the seedling tray, just like that. And then that's a little baby gem lettuce plant that's now ready to get planted out in the garden where it'll grow into a full-size lettuce.
Today we're with private chef Robin, author of how many books?
4 cookbooks.
4 cookbooks. And what are we going to make today?
We are going to make a delicious BLT salad with little gem lettuces. We went to the farmer's market yesterday and we bought some little gem lettuces. And basically little gems are baby romaine. So we're just going to cut off this tip end so that the lettuce stays intact, because we're going to cut it in half and serve it as the half of the head. What we're going to do is just cut it in half. So we're going to plate it and then set that aside while we make the dressing.
All right, so what's the dressing consist of?
So we have lemon, honey, local honey, mustard, and I like to use the grainy mustard, And we also have olive oil. And when you're using olive oil, you want to use a really good quality virgin olive oil. And we're just going to mix those ingredients together. But first we need to juice the lemons. So, I mean, this kind of goes without saying, but you have to get the seeds out, right? So what I usually do is set up a little strainer, and then we just use the reamer.
And I just
push and squeeze over that.
Push, squeeze, and twist, kind of.
Yeah. And then you want to turn the lemon around a little bit.
That seed just
Seeds
flew
are
out of there.
Popping all over the place.
Like high projectiles.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Excellent.
So we're gonna just shake that, get all the juice out, and that's about two tablespoons worth. Okay.
Yeah.
So the dressing calls for, and we're gonna make it here in this bowl. It calls for the lemon juice, about 2 tablespoons worth, so you can put that in there.
Every little bit of it.
Yeah.
Every tiny little drop. It's very
Yeah.
important.
And then we're gonna use 1 tablespoon of mustard, and there's a tablespoon there for you.
And I just
And it can be heaping, it's fine.
could be heaping.
Mustard makes it taste really good.
mustard's the good stuff. So
Yeah.
we can put extra if we want.
Yeah. Now hold that little tablespoon over the bowl. We're gonna put some honey. And it calls for about a teaspoon. But you know, this is all to taste, and the honey always gets stuck in the spoon, so I always put in a little bit extra. Awesome. And you can scrape it off onto the whisk.
Onto the whisk, not
Yeah.
the side of the bowl.
Yeah.
Because this is the stirring.
Yeah.
That's not
We're gonna add a little salt and pepper, and I like to use the fresh ground pepper because it's just really
adds-
fragrant, and a little pinch of salt or 2.
How much is a pinch? About that much?
Yeah.
A little chunk.
I mean, maybe put in a little bit more.
A little bit more. You're
Yeah.
the pro. You know what you're doing.
All right. So stir that around with the whisk and hold. And then we're gonna slowly drizzle in some olive oil.
And how much olive oil will we use?
It calls for about 4 tablespoons. So what you're looking for is about 1/3 of the ingredients with 2/3 of olive oil.
Okay.
And it kind of forms an emulsified dressing. Let's see. Keep stirring, getting all that in there.
Now that smells great.
Let's taste it. Let me see. Perfect.
Perfect.
Anyway, so the other ingredients for the salad are tomatoes, and I bought these beautiful cherry tomatoes at the farmer's market. You can taste those. Those are so sweet. And so what you want to do is wash them and take the little stems off. And figure maybe like 6 tomatoes per plate. And then I like to cut them in half. So you're gonna cut them in half. And I would suggest using the serrated. And then what we're gonna do is, the salad is a BLT salad. And what I did was cook the bacon ahead of time. And I have the skillet on the stove with a little bit of the bacon fat. And we're gonna grill the onions, kind of sear them. So take your knife and cut that into about 1-inch pieces.
Like that?
Yeah. If you don't have scallions, you could use red onions or white onions and put that on the plate. And we're gonna assemble the salad.
Woo!
Awesome. So what I like to tell people is to drizzle the salad dressing on the greens first so that it kind of seeps in all the little layers.
Salad dressing.
Yeah.
And then I'll just drizzle it
Kind of
about.
drizzle it over.
That was really fun. I enjoyed making this. I'm ready to dig in, aren't you?
I think we should taste it for sure. Let's see. Get all the bits and pieces.
Every single bit. Oh. Better than the sandwich.
Very subtle.
This is really good. I'm going in for another one.
Thanks for helping me in the kitchen, Asher.
No problem.
Farming is really all about growing soil. People ask me, what plants do you grow? And whenever I build a new section on the farm, they ask me, what crops are you going to grow there, or what are you building it for? And it doesn't really work like that. And the answer is the same. I'm building soil. I'm growing healthy soil with lots of worms in it, because I know that once I've done that, all plants do fine there. It doesn't matter if it's a fruit tree or a corn or a radish. They all love healthy soil that has lots of worms and mushrooms and different types of life. It's really all about life, and that's why we don't use pesticides and we don't need to use fertilizers, because the soil is really a natural ecosystem, and ecosystems work. They want to function, and things want to be healthy in ecosystems, and things also die and decay in ecosystems, and all of that's natural. And this is what beautiful, healthy soil really looks like. It has roots in it, and it has worms. Grab another handful here. See how the texture is really perfect to it? It kind of holds together, and it's full of earthworms like that. And when you squeeze it together, it makes a little ball, but it also crumbles apart. And that's how these roots, you can see the plant roots are working with that little worm we just saw. That worm is decomposing all the organic material and compost that's in here, and it's making those nutrients available through the roots so that they can go up through the roots and through the stem and ultimately to the fruit here. And the real goal ultimately is to produce the healthiest food with the most amount of nutrition we can for people, so that people are as healthy as they can be. Yeah, so this is our mural that we painted in our wash station, and we actually just recently finished it. And it just makes it fun and beautiful to be in here, and it tells a little bit of the story about how we farm and what regenerative farming kind of means and how nature's natural systems work. Okay, so Asher, you've been asking me a lot of questions. Now it's my turn.
Uh-oh.
What do we have growing here?
Carrots?
Yep.
I'll get back to those.
Okay.
Onions or garlic?
Onions, yep.
Yeah. Sunflowers?
Yep.
Flying worms?
Flying worms.
Ojai roots?
Yep. And those?
Peas?
Nope.
Great, no, cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
Yes!
Yes.
That's it.
Yep.
Well, that was fun. I learned a lot about dirt and soil and stuff. Thanks for being with us. See you next time.